okay? Abraham's nephew, okay? That's where the Chinese descend from, okay? That's Moab when you're reading the Bible. Go ahead, bro.
But neither their religion, laws, and customs and seed agree in the least with those of the Chinese.
So that's letting you know right there that they study Gad. They study the North American Indian, so-called North American Indian. Okay? Go ahead.
Which sufficiently proves that are not of that line.
Not of their line. So so-called North American Indians are not Chinese. Okay? They didn't descend from the Chinese. When you're reading the Bible, the Chinese, when you're reading the King James Bible, which is this right here, when you read it about them, they are Moab. Okay? They descend from Lot. Okay? Go ahead.
Besides, as our best ships now are almost half a year in sailing to China.
Okay, go ahead. Now this talking about the ships, okay? Because what it is a lie been pushed out there by 2 Jesuit priests. Now, I forget the name of them Jesuit priests. If I find it, I will put it up for you so you will see the names. I think it's in one. I think it's in one of my books that I got. I can't bring all these books out here, man. I gotta have a shopping cart to bring my books out. And these brothers know I ain't. Brother, hey, speak on it. Before. Hey, I told them that in order for me to bring my books out here, I gotta have a shopping cart.
Oh, come.
See?
Yeah, the elder got a library.
So, them brothers my witness. The brother my witness, man. Okay? So I can't bring all them books out here. But what it is I think it's in, it might be in the Manasseh ben Israel book, The Hope of Israel. It might be in that book. But like I said, if I find it, I will put it up so you can see it. And it's up right now. If I find it. Okay, it's up right now. Okay? So this is talking about what this finna go into, what the brother finna read into is about how they didn't cross the Bering Straits and they not descendants of the Chinese. Okay? That's what this finna talk about. Go ahead.
Or from thence to Europe. It is very unlikely they should attempt such dangerous discoveries.
Go ahead.
In early time with their supposed small vessels against rapid currents.
So you got to remember, James Adair is around Gad for 40 years. So he's studying them. And he's looking at what they got. And he's saying to himself, look, it ain't no way that they can cross the Bering Straits. Now, the Bering Straits. Now see, what it is when you're reading the Apocrypha, you got the 10 tribes. They went through the Persian Gulf and went around and went by the Horn of Africa and went on down, and they was carried over here. Okay, that's how that happened. They was carried over here. The Most High helped still the waters, and they was carried over here. Now that's the Horn of Africa. You can look it up if you want to. But what they saying was, they was lying, saying that the 10 tribes went that way to get over here. Nah, they didn't go that way. Okay? They didn't go that way. Okay? That's the Bering Straits way. So what it is up through that way. Okay? What it is they went down through the Persian Gulf, and they went by the Horn of Africa, by Somalia, on down, and they by South America, and it was carried over here by the currents. Okay? That's how they came. And it tells you in Ezra's, matter of fact, I'll read it real quick. Okay? I'll read it real fast, real quick, because I don't want to. Second Ezra's. I'll pass the page. 13. Second Ezra. All right. It says, this second Ezra, 13 and 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osee, the king whom Salmanazar, Osee goes back to Hosea. When you read 2 Kings 17th chapter, okay? Salmanazar, the king of Assyria, led away captives, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. So what that is they went into captivity and they went up into Syria, and also he put them in the land. Also, some of the tribes was in the land of Elam, okay, in the land of Elam, and you got to read that in 2 Kings the 18th chapter, okay. Someone went over there too, okay, and it says captive, and he carried them out of the waters. So like it says, Salmanazar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land, okay. But they took this counsel among themselves. So they took counsel among themselves. So they was plotting to get away, okay. Took counsel amongst themselves, right, that they would leave the multitude of the heathens and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. That's over here to the Americas. Because see, they knew about this land going all the way back to Solomon, and Israel had the record. They knew, okay. Israel knew about the earth and how things work. They knew about all that. So they knew about this land that was over here, okay. So, and they had maps, okay. So this verse 41. But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathens and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. So they left the so-called Middle East, and they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river, and the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over, because it was rough water going by the Horn of Africa and up under South Africa. Them were rough waters, okay. So the Most High took care of them so they could pass and ride them currents, okay, to this side, okay. We're talking about the 10 tribes of Israel, okay. And it says, for the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. For though that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. So it took a year and a half for them to get over here, okay, using their boat. So they didn't go through the Barren Straits, okay. Like I said, that lie was started by 2 Jesuits, okay. They had to be Edomites, 2 Jesuits, priests, okay, going through the Barren Straits, okay. So they didn't go that way. So what they did, what they were doing, they knew about Ezra and the Apocrypha. What they're trying to do is discredit the scriptures, but they can't, because the truth is too strong for them to discredit, okay. Truth gonna always stand. For the Most High then showed signs. I'm in 2nd Ezra 13 and 44. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. For though that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, the same region is called Osiris, meaning another land. Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come. So what it is Gad and Ephraim, Gad, Ephraim, Manasseh, and Issachar and the rest of the tribe came over here. But what it was Ephraim was leading them, okay? Issachar was reading the heavens, okay? So they was all working together, okay? But when it says verse 46, then dwelt they there until the latter time. That's talking about now, okay? Which also is talking about America, meaning another land, okay? It said, then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come. What is it talking about? It's talking about the other tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, okay? Because Judah, Benjamin, and Levi was going to end up coming on this side in captivity. So that's what that's talking about, okay? Now, we're going back to this book, okay? To this James the Deer, okay? And we're on page what?
74.
We're on page 74 now, and the brother gonna continue. Go ahead.
And in dark and sickly monsoons, especially as it is very probable that they were unacquainted with the use of the lodestone to direct their course.
Now what the brother is reading is about how James the Deer came to the conclusion that there's no way that the 10 tribes went the way of the barren straits. So that's what he's explaining right here. Go ahead.
China is about 8,000 miles distant from the American continent,
Go ahead.
which is twice as far across the Atlantic Ocean. And we are not informed by any ancient writer of their maritime skill, or so much as an inclination that way besides small coasting voyages. The wind blow likewise with little variation from east to west within the latitudes of 30 and odd, north and south, and therefore they could not drive them on the American coast. It lying directly contrary to such a course.
So it's telling you, look, they ain't go to Bering Straits way, okay? They didn't go toward China, okay? So-called China, that way. They didn't go that way. So James the Deer is telling you, and the scriptures telling you that they didn't go that way. When we read Ezra, 2nd Ezra, 13th chapter. Okay, go ahead.
Neither could person sail to America from the north.
See, from the north. Go ahead.
By the way of territory or ancient
Yeah, Scythia.
Scythia.
Yeah, read it again.
Neither could person sail to America from the north by the way of Tartar
Yeah.
or ancient Scythia.
Yeah, or ancient Scythia. Okay? Now, where that map at? Now I looked up Scythia. That's like by the Caspian Sea and over there by Iran. Okay? That's where Scythia was, somewhere up in there. So they didn't go that way. Okay? Now you can look it up yourself, but when I looked it up, it's by the Caspian Sea and parts of Iran. So they didn't go that way. Okay? Go ahead. The Scythians. Go ahead. I'm gonna show y'all the book too, what the brothers read. Go ahead.
From its situation, never was or can be a maritime power, and it is utterly impracticable for any to come to America by sea from that quarter.
Yeah, at that time, going that way, going through the Bering Straits. Okay? So James the Deer is telling you, nah, it's impossible. Nah, it's going that way that they done lied about, going through the Bering Straits. Nah, that ain't the way they went. Okay, go ahead.
Besides, the remaining traces of the religious ceremonies and civil and marital customs are quite opposite to the like vestige of the old Scythians.
Of the old Scythians, right? Okay, so their customs and their heritage is contrary to them heathen nations. Okay, so that's what he was telling. That's what James the Deer is telling you right there. Okay, and some people say the Scythians was ancient Chinese, but you know, hey, you can look it up, but don't quote me on it. But I heard some people say that the Scythians are the ancient Chinese, but you have to look it up and, you know, go into that. I didn't. Go ahead.
Several of the Indian nations assured us they crossed the Mississippi.
So they came from the south. He said they crossed the Mississippi. So the tribe of Gad came from the south. So in other words, he came from the South America on up. You know, he didn't come from the north. Okay, go ahead.
Before they made their present northern settlements, which connected with the former arguments, will sufficiently explode that weak opinion.
That weak opinion, talking about they went through the Bering Straits. Okay?
Of the American
Aborigines.
Aborigines being lineally descended from the Tartars of ancient Scythians.
Yep. We're going to jump down. We're still on page 74, and we're going to jump down. And the Bering Straits was named by Ventus Jonas Bering. Okay? He died he was born in 1681, okay, and he died in 1741. He was a Russian explorer, okay? That's what he was, but of Danish descent, okay? And how he died was he died on the island with his men, with 9 men. So that's how Ventus Bering died, and the Bering Straits was named after him. So we're going to continue in that particular, we're going to jump down a paragraph, right? But we're still on page 74. So go ahead, bro.
From the most exact observations I could make in the long time I traded among the Indian Americans.
So he traded amongst Gad. So he knew, okay? So he studied him. He'd been amongst them for 40 years. So he was studying. Just before they completely took down Gad. Okay, go ahead. So-called North American Indian.
I was forced to believe them lineage descended from the Israelites.
What?
I was forced to believe them. I was forced to believe them lineage descended from the Israelites.
Go ahead. From the Israelites. So he's telling you right there that the tribe of Gad, the so-called North American Indian, this man was around them for 40 years, right? And he knew that they were descendants of the Israelites, man. He was forced to believe that, man. Okay, go ahead.
Either while they were a maritime power, or soon after the general captivity. The latter, however, is the most probable. This descent I shall endeavor to prove from their religious rites, civil and marital customs, their marriages, funeral ceremonies, manners, language, traditions, and a variety of particulars, which will at the same time make the reader thoroughly acquainted with nations of which it may be said to this day, very little have been known.
See, they said very little have been known, but see, they knew. They got the record. But what it is they hide it. But the cat's out of the bag now. You know what I'm saying? The cat's out of the bag. Now, we're showing you in the Bible who the tribe of Gad is, and we also went to the record, okay, outside of the Bible that they got showing that the tribe of Gad, the so-called North American Indians, are Israelites. Okay? So let me show them that page. Let me show them that. Oh, damn. I dropped my paper. Alright, this is on page 73, right? Get that in there. Right? That's what the brother was reading. Right? This is on page 74. Make sure y'all can see that. Okay. And this is on page 75. Okay. So that's what he was reading. So you can see. Alright. I'm gonna go back. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're gonna get that in a few minutes. But now we finna